2003 Chevy Silverado with the 4.8 liter engine, alternator and AC belt replacement. I'm Brian Essett from How To Automotive, and I'm going to walk you through the steps for replacing those. Before we get started, I wanted to show you the belts we're going to be using. We're going to be using these Gates belts here. These are the part numbers. I will link these up in the description of the video. That way, if you guys need to pick those up, you can get those. Also, on the passenger side of the cowling here is a sticker with a diagram of how the belts route. This is the same for the 4.8, the 5.3, the 6 liter, whatever motor happens to be in your Chevy Silverado. Okay, to get started, the first thing we're going to do is remove the air intake here. We're just going to loosen the clamp here and here. To get the two clamps loose, you're also going to pop the little the radiator, upper radiator hose has a holder here that you're going to pop out of the air cleaner, so you just pry it out right there. And then after that, you're just going to pull the air. If yours has been on there for a while, like this one has, it can be a little bit on the tough side to wiggle it off. But once you get it off, now you can just take the air and set it aside. Now just under the radiator hose here is the serpentine belt tensioner. So I'm using my combination wrench here. It's made by Mountain. They're ratcheting, flex head ratcheting wrenches. These things are amazing. I'll link these up in the description also, so you guys can check those out. These things are about a 1.5 foot long, about 18 inches long, and you can put some serious tension on them, and they're great for loosening up bolts. Anyway, so you're going to put your wrench onto the tensioner, and you're going to want it rotating clockwise. So you're going to tension the belt over clockwise, and then you're just going to slip the belt off from underneath the pulley like that, and off the alternator. And now you can go ahead and unroute it and take it off all the pulleys. So once you get it off the crank down there in the bottom, you can just pull the belt out of the car. Now that you got the belt off, what I like to do is take my hand on all the pulleys that are spinnable and spin them and kind of give them a feel, like try to feel for play in the bearings and stuff like that. Spin the idler pulleys and the tensioner pulley, and just give them all a quick little spin, and make sure that there's no play or noise in any of them, including the water pump down here. You know, spin the fan blade and see if there's any play in any of those. And if any of that has play, then you want to address that issue. Now, so the AC belt is further in, is down below. So we're going to go below the vehicle, and there's going to be a shield that we're going to remove, and we're going to take that off and take the AC belt off. If you guys are doing this at home, you can probably just lay on the ground and do this, but I got my car up on the hoist here, and we're going to remove this little skid plate here in the front, and there's 5 15mm bolts. There's one here, and then 3 up here on top. So remove those, and this little plastic skid plate shield will come off. Now that you got the lower shield off, we're looking in towards the crank, and right here is the tensioner for the AC compressor. Here's the AC compressor. So to get it off, I just got a standard 3/8 drive ratchet with about a 2-inch extension, and you're just going to put it in there and torque it to the right, and then slip the belt off. Now that you got the belt off, I like to spin the idler pulley and the AC pulley and try to wiggle it and see if you feel any play. If you have any play, you want to address that issue. And if not, you can go ahead and install your belt around the crank pulley, around the AC, and pull your tensioner out of the way and slip it over the top. So I got the belt on around the crank on the inner portion of the pulley. I got it wrapped over the tensioner, and it's kind of hanging loose over the top of the AC compressor. Now I'm going to put my ratchet in there and torque it to the right, and then slip the belt on over the AC compressor. And now that the belt is on, I just double checked it, make sure that all the belt is inside of all the grooves on the crank pulley and also on the AC compressor. And one of the best ways to do that is actually just put your hand on it and feel, because you may not be able to see back here in the back, but you can feel it. And then once you're satisfied with that, then you can go ahead and put your lower shield back on. Now we're ready to put the alternator belt back on, and we're just going to do it to the V8 diagram here on the sticker. And if you look at this diagram, what we're going to do is we're going to put this belt on around the crank pulley first. So when we do this, we're going to route the belt on the passenger side kind of at an angle first, and then around the crank pulley and around the water pump like this, and over the power steering down here in the corner. And then we'll put it around the tensioner here, and then we'll go under the idler pulley here, and then we'll pull our tensioner out clockwise, and then when we do that, then we'll slip it over the alternator last. So now I'm going to start routing the belt through, and if you look down here on the water pump, I'm going to come on to if you're looking towards it, it'll be the left side of the water pump. So I'm going to go on the left side of the water pump and route the belt around the crank first. So if you can see my hand down there, so I'm going to route the belt around that first. Now it's looped around the crank pulley. Now I'm just going to pull the belt up and over the water pump. Okay, so now it's around the crank pulley, and now it's coming up and over the water pump this way towards the power steering. Now you're going to go under the power steering pump like this, and it may slip off here. You may have to slide it back on like so. So once it's around the AC compressor, I leave it off the alternator. I'm going to put it on there last. So then I make sure it goes underneath the idler pulley and around the tensioner here pulley. Now you can grab it with your other hand and you pull all the slack out of it like this. And now you're going to use your wrench and torque the pulley over to the right, and then slip. And then once it's pulled over, then you're going to slip this portion of the belt over the alternator. So as you can see, I just kind of got it hooked over here like this. Now I'm going to torque it over like that. And now when it's torqued over, I'm going to slip this belt over. Now before I release the tension, I'm just going to look at all the pulleys and make sure the belt is in all the grooves. And if I'm satisfied that that's the case, then I'll just release the tension of the tensioner like that and remove the tool. And you guys, if you don't have a wrench like this, you don't need special tools. You can just use a regular ratchet with a 15mm socket on the end of it and do it. There's not a whole lot of tension on these Chevrolet tensioners. Now that the belts are on, we're going to take our intake air cleaner and just put it back on. So hook it up here and then in here and install the clamps. And sometimes this little rubber boot right here will pop off or stick on there. So if it sticks onto the throttle body, you want to peel it off and then put it onto the air boot here first, and then put it onto the. You got the intake back on and the clamps tight, and then resecure the upper radiator hose. That'll complete the job of replacing the AC and alternator belt on a 2003 Chevy Silverado with the 4.8. It's the same process as the 5.3 and the 6-liter engine. I will be linking up the belts and the tools that I use in this video in the description, so if you need those, look for them there. I'm Brian Esser from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos. Encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this, and I'd like to thank you again for watching.